Yep, and Kaylee is just entering the room right now, so that's fantastic. I will go ahead and just start by showing you what we're going to do today. We'll talk, real briefly about our enduring understanding and basically our goals for book club. And then, sorry, had to put the cat on the floor. We'll share our book club jobs. And then we're going to get into a little bit of a writing lesson. We're going to be working on writing a really good paragraph, editing, and then also peer editing. If we don't get to this part today, that's definitely something that we're going to do next week. But then we'll talk about your assignment for the end of the book. The end of the book assignment's really pretty short. You have to write one paragraph and be ready to share it next week for our very last book club VC. Well, very last one for maybe semester one, I should say. Okay, so back up here at the beginning. Our enduring understanding is that humans use strategies to construct meaning. And really, how that relates to book club is our reading strategies to construct meaning from the book, or to make meaning from the book, I should say. So, what are some of the reading strategies that we've studied so far this year? I can think of 3. Autumn?
Yeah, summarizing,
Uh-huh.
predicting,
That's right.
and then question, I think.
That's right. Well, connections is actually the other one. Making
Oh,
connections.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, and summaries. Perfect. So those are the reading strategies that we have kind of studied so far this year. We will, of course, do more. And then our goals for book club are to communicate about the novel and share our ideas, to collaborate with each other, to think critically about the text and the questions that I would present, and then to show a little creativity when you actually do your book club jobs. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump right into our book club jobs so that we have enough time at the end to get into our paragraph writing. So I always like to start with the summary of the chapters that you read. And let's see. TJ, have you joined us yet? TJ is kind of sick, so he shared. Oh, there he is. Okay. So TJ is here today. I think I'm going to go ahead and share his job for him because sometimes his screen doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So here we go. This is very cool. So this was TJ's summary from chapters 19 through 22. All right, here we go. Chapter 19. Look at the awesome pictures he included too. That's really cool. In chapter 19, Karana is trying to spear the giant devilfish near the cave. She is collecting abalones also. The giant devilfish is very hard for Karana to kill, and it hurt her in Rontu. She finally killed it, though, and she never wanted to try to kill a devilfish again. We know that it's not really a devilfish. What do we call this? Jeremy?
Octopus or squid.
Yeah, it's really an octopus, but that's what she called it, was a devilfish. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit of feedback. So I'm going to go ahead and mute a couple people and see if that helps. Sorry, I don't like to have you muted, but I'll try to remember to unmute you when it's your turn to talk. TJ, are you there? Maybe, are you feeling up to sharing your summaries, or would you like me to continue?
Continue.
Okay, I'll go ahead and continue for you. You did a great job, by the way. Look at this. Chapter 20. In chapter 20, Karana is gathering red abalones and making shelves for the cave. She also caught some small fish. She went to the tall rock and killed cormorants, that's that type of bird, which are blackbirds, is probably what that meant to say, and she wanted to make a skirt from their feathers. She went to the black cave with Rontu and saw figures made of reed and feathers with abalone shells for eyes. So there was a skeleton, and it was really creepy. The tide came in and she and Rontu got stuck in the cave all night. She's afraid, and as soon as the tide goes back out and it is daylight, her and Rontu leave, and she vows to never go back in the cave again. So you can see that this cave, there were obviously skeletons in there. We don't really know why they were in there. Maybe they were prisoners. Maybe they just got stuck in there, whatever the case is. Karana sees a ship and decides not to take chances, so she packs up her things to move to the cave in the ravine. It ends up to be the Aleuts, so she moves to the cave. So it's a good decision that she ended up moving to the cave because it really was the Aleuts, who we know are dangerous. Chapter 22. Oh, did I skip one? There we go. Chapter 21. In chapter 21, the Aleuts are on the island and Karana and Rontu are in the cave. But there is a girl with the Aleuts, and Karana is afraid the girl is going to find her. She's afraid. She's afraid because the girl is the one who goes and gets the water, and she's kind of getting too close to Karana. And Christian, it's okay. You might have just been off a little bit on the chapters you were supposed to read, but you can catch up this week. The girl finds Karana and Rontu one day, and when she's looking at her new skirt, but the girl really likes the skirt, and she leaves Karana a necklace on a rock, and Karana's afraid to take it, but she finally does, and it's made of pretty black stones. So in other words, the girl is maybe a little bit nicer than the rest of the hunters, and actually doesn't give her away, and she kind of wants to be Karana's friend. The Aleut girl came back, this is chapter 22, and Karana and the girl try to talk, and they teach each other words from their languages. Karana tells her that her name is Wanapalea, which means girl with the long black hair, and is Karana's secret name. So that's a big step to tell somebody her secret name. That was a big step. The girl's name is Tutok. They sat on the rocks together and they would talk, and Karana tells her her real name. Karana makes a circlet for Tutok's hair, and Tutok came back for many days, but one morning she didn't come. A few days later, the Aleut ship left, and Karana was a little lonely again. So, that was a fantastic summary, TJ. That was actually really amazing work that you put this into a little slideshow for us. So, good job. All right, and Sierra was another summarizer, but she's not with us. She's still in Europe. So we will back up and go to Kaylee as the discussion director. Kaylee, are you ready to share? Your microphone's on, Kaylee.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I will make you the presenter.
Okay. So I just start reading my questions.
Yep. Do you have them on your screen?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. You're going to see a button that says share my screen. Go ahead and push that.
I did.
Cool. We're going to see your screen in just a second then. There they are. Okay, go ahead and share your first question.
What would Corinne do with her time if she didn't need to look for food?
Ooh. All right, guys, this is for you to discuss. Who would like to give their thoughts on that? What would she do if she didn't have to spend a lot of time looking for food? Autumn, go ahead.
Um, well, I just totally forgot.
Well, just take a guess. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer to this.
Well, maybe she would still like keep building her house, maybe?
That's probably true. She would maybe, make her house even better. Any other ideas? I think maybe she would spend more time making, a better canoe. Remember when she tried to leave the island? Maybe she would make a really strong canoe and try to leave again. That's a possibility. Um, what else? All right, we'll take another thought from Autumn.
She would probably keep looking for the boat to come back for her.
That's true. She actually might spend a lot of time just kind of thinking about the boat too much and kind of watching the shoreline to see if they were going to come back for her. So maybe it is a good thing that she has to keep busy all day. um, all right, Kaylee, go ahead and share your second question.
How would Corona survive if she hurt herself?
Ooh. How would Karana survive if she hurt herself? And remember, there's no right or wrong answers. These are just kind of what do you think type of answers. So, how could she survive if she got hurt on the island and she's the only one there? Any thoughts? You can raise your hand and I can see you. Jeremy, do you want to give us your thoughts on that?
She would probably try to get some herbs to heal herself.
There you go. She would definitely search for the herbs because we know that she knows a lot about the herbs and their and how they can act as medicine. Um, Autumn, I saw that your hand was up, so we'll have Autumn go ahead and share her thoughts.
I actually have the same as Jeremy, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, that's definitely something that she would do. She would search for the herbs that she needed. I was thinking maybe she would even try to train Rontu to go and get things for her. I mean, the dog's pretty smart. Maybe she can train him to go and, bring her back something to cook or whatever. So, all right, Kaylee, go ahead and share your third question. Oh, go ahead, Kaylee.
Why didn't Corona leave the island with the Aleutes?
Mm. So if she had the opportunity to leave with the Aleuts, because maybe she made friends with, the Aleut girl, or maybe they weren't going to be as cruel to her because it was only one girl instead of a bunch of, men on the island, why would she choose to stay instead? Why would she choose to stay all alone on the island instead of taking a chance and, going with the Aleuts? Go ahead, Autumn.
Well, maybe she maybe likes the island. Maybe she doesn't want to leave, like maybe the wolves or whatever.
Right. That's definitely a possibility. Any other thoughts? Maybe she is just still hoping that that boat will come back for her with her own people. So if she left, then she would never know if the boat came back for her. Um, we know as readers that the boat actually crashed before it got to where it was going, but she doesn't know that. So she's still hoping that it's going to come back for her one day. Or maybe she doesn't want to leave because she has so many memories of her family on the island and they're good memories. So, all right, Kaylee, those were very good questions. I liked those questions a lot because they were not yes or no type of questions. We actually had to kind of discuss them. So hopefully we're warmed up now and we can all participate. Here we go. All right, Kendall, give me a thumbs up. Are you ready to share your job? Okay, I'm going to unmute you, Kendall. And then I'm going to make you the presenter. So give me just 1 second. Okay, the presenter is now Kendall. So you should see a button that says share my screen. Let's see.
Show my screen.
There you go. We see your screen. Okay. So the quotable quoter's job was to find a really cool part in the book, and then we're going to discuss why it was a good part or interesting part or scary part or whatever the case is. So go ahead, Kendall. You can go ahead and share with us.
On page um 69, the author says otters playing in the kelp, the rings of foam around the rocks that guarded the harbor, the gold flying filled me with happiness. Has so much it has a lot of detail.
It does have a lot of detail. That was a very descriptive part. The author does a really good job of making good mental pictures um, as you're reading this. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to me because it looks like you wrote your jobs down, which is totally fine. Okay, did you find another part that was cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
Flowers were pimply that spring because of the winter's heavy rain. The dunes were covered with mats of sandflower, which are red and have tiny eyes that are sometimes pink and sometimes white. I
Ooh.
think that gives a good description of it.
Yeah, there again, the author is very descriptive. One thing I noticed about this particular author is that she'll describe something and she'll use a different word for it. So, whereas we might call it a simple, flower or an octopus, she calls it something else. And just by her descriptions and how detailed they are, you still know what she's talking about. So, very cool, Kendall. Anything else?
No.
All right. Anybody want to comment on those parts that Kendall found? It looks like she found really descriptive writing. Anybody else want to comment on maybe a descriptive part that you thought that you saw or anything? Oh, my shy little fifth and sixth graders and fourth graders. All right. We'll move on then. We have the job of connector. And so we have Jordan and Autumn. So let's see here. Looks like we can't see Jordan because there's probably not enough screens for her. But Jordan, we can hear you now. Are you ready to share?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to put the make you the presenter, or did you just write it on paper?
Um, you can make me the presenter because I did yeah.
Okay, so you want me to make you the presenter?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so go ahead and click show my screen and then we'll be able to see it. Cool. Okay, so Jordan's job was to make connections, and you can go ahead and start whenever you're ready.
Okay. I connected Island of the Blue Dolphin to Walk the World's Rim by Betty Baker.
Ooh.
Walk the World's Rim is about an Indian boy who leaves his parents to go on an adventure with an African slave named Esteban. They experience many dangers and challenges on their journey. Island of the Blue Dolphin and Walk the World's Rim are connected because they are both books about Indian kids who are apart from their parents and have to be brave. Karana had to face the death of her brother, and Chico had to face the death of Esteban, his friend. Also, Karana and Chico had to learn how to survive in the wilderness. My
Very
second connection had to do with foraging for wild food. Karana had to find all different kinds of food to survive. One example is when Karana had to use a clean stick from a coral brush to clean the wound of the dog leader. I connected with this experience because my mom and I are learning about how to use wild plants for food and medicine. We have learned that you can use dandelions for tea. Dandelion tea helps your body detoxify.
Ooh, that sounds really good. All right, those are fantastic connections. Her first connection is a text to text connection. So she made a connection between two different books. The characters are going through very similar things. this looks like a really cool book. So really the whole purpose in sharing this is to maybe spark somebody's interest. Maybe they're going to be interested in reading this book now, and that's awesome. Um, how are they different though? So it seems like, they had a lot of similarities, but what were some differences between your characters, Piranha and what was his name? Chaco?
Yeah, I didn't really learn how to pronounce it, but um, well, um, he more had um,
Seemed like he wasn't alone. It seemed like,
yeah,
yeah, he had somebody with
he yeah, he just wasn't with his friend Esteban. He was with some other like because Esteban was a slave, so he was with other like the owners were with Esteban because they had to be, because then Esteban would probably run away from them if they didn't go with him. So
I see. Very good. And then her second connection was a text to self connection. She saw some of the ways that Karana used wild herbs as medicine, and is just as kind of a natural homeopathic type of way to heal things, which Karana had to do. I mean, obviously, they didn't have a hospital or anything or a Walgreens where she can go and buy, Tylenol and that kind of thing. So she had to learn how to use plants and the things that were on her island. And then it looks like this is really cool. We could still do this in modern times. And dandelion tea is an example of kind of a homeopathic type of cure, I guess, for detoxifying yourself. So very cool. Thank you, Jordan. All right, now it's Autumn's turn. So I'm going to unmute Autumn, and she is also a connector. Are you ready, Autumn?
I actually thought it was the what was it called? The word wizard, because like
Oh,
thought I was the word wizard somehow. I don't really know why. But I
oh,
thought.
well, it's not a huge deal. You probably just kind of traced your name over and got mixed up with the lines or whatever. So we'll come
Oh,
back
okay.
to you in just a second. All right, so Jeremy, you are our illustrator. So Jeremy, did you just draw a picture or did you do something on your screen? Okay, cool. So we can hear you, Jeremy. So why don't you hold it up to your camera if you can and describe it? Hold it like kind of right where your face is. There you go.
So this is the picture of when Corona is with the dog leader, the pack leader,
Mm-hmm.
and healing the pack leader and trying to help him out.
Very cool. Why did you choose that part, Jeremy?
I thought it was a very interesting turnaround of feeling, very, really shocking to me.
Exactly. And see, the role of the illustrator, it's kind of interesting to see what people choose to illustrate because it was important to them for some reason. And that was a really important part that she could have let that dog die. And that was her original goal, was to kill all of the wild dogs. But then all of a sudden she had a kind of a change of heart. And so that was a huge, important part of the book. So fantastic, Jeremy. Great job. All right. Okay, word wizard. Now we have two people that are word wizards. So we'll go back to Autumn and we'll let Autumn share her fun words. And you are ready, Autumn. Okay.
Uh,
Is it on your screen? Because I can make you the presenter.
yeah, it's
Okay.
on my screen.
Okay, we see it.
Okay. So okay. So on page 82, I found the word pursuer new because I've never heard of that word and I didn't know what it meant. Pursuer means someone who chases or goes after someone else, like just like tag. Um, and for my like sample sentence, I said I was able to hide from my pursuer, so he didn't catch me.
That's right. What was going on page 82? Who was pursuing who?
I don't really remember.
It was probably, somebody chasing Piranha, maybe one
Yeah,
of the
I think
wild dogs. But
yeah.
cool.
And then on page 78, I found the word forbade strange because it says that women can't use weapons, but Krana uses a bow and arrow and a knife to protect herself. And forbade means not allowed to use or to do something. And like for my sample sentence, I said, I am forbade to vote because I'm under the age of 18.
Yeah, and you would actually say forbidden to vote, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, that's a perfect example. Well, no, I mean that's just a different form of that same word, so that's really good. What do you guys think about that? That her tribe wouldn't let women make weapons. Do you think that's fair?
No, not really.
No. And in the case of Karana, I mean, she obviously had to make the weapons or she would have died. So she had to go against, what her tribe told her was going to be, what did they say? That she'd be struck down and she would die if she made a weapon, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that obviously didn't happen. So,
Yeah.
okay, keep going.
Okay, and then on page 86, I found the word suns different because they use suns, but we use days. Sun means like us, like to us, it's days, basically.
Right, how many suns have passed? How many days
Yeah,
have passed? Perfect.
yeah. And my sentence says, in one more sun, my parents will get to vote for the election.
Yeah, in one more day. There you go.
And then on page 87, I found the word ancestor interesting because Karana learns from their experiences for survival. Survival.
Hmm. Can you give me an
And then
example?
yeah, my sample sentence was my ancestors came to America from Europe.
Okay, very good. And in the book, what did she learn from her ancestors?
She learned from like it's hard to explain. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
um, basically, let me think how to
Well, she
explain
learned how
this.
to make weapons. We know that.
Yeah,
And that was something that was passed down from her ancestors. They
yeah,
told her that she wasn't supposed to, but she also learned just about how to be strong and about the survival of her tribe. So,
yeah.
good.
And then
You did really
okay,
good. It looks
um,
like, oh yeah, you have another one. Okay.
on page 98, yeah, I found the word snooze as hard because it's really hard to pronounce and explain. But I had to look it up in a dictionary actually, and
Mhm.
my parents didn't know either.
Yeah. So what
And
is it?
the word sinew means a natural, strong rope used for tying things together. Basically, like if you go like that with your elbow and you touch it right here, you can feel a sinew.
Uh-huh.
Or if you go like this, it's you have sinews in here in your hand.
That's right. And what kind of sinew was she using to make rope?
She was using a like I think it was some type of weapon. I think it was a bow and arrow.
Yes, that's right. Very
And
good.
then one more, page 101, 101, I found the word devilfish funny because I think it's a funny name for a fish. A devilfish is a fish that looks evil. It's also another word for octopus. And then devilfish can grow very large and are very dangerous to humans.
That's right, they are. So it was kind of a big challenge for her to kill that devilfish. And that's kind of one of the examples I was talking about where the author is so descriptive that you know that she's talking about an octopus, but she calls it a devilfish like the tribe would have called it.
Yeah.
Cool. And do you have a connection and a prediction? That's even better.
Yeah, I have two predictions and one connection.
Okay.
I know how Karana felt when she had to look over her brother until he died. My big brother used to babysit me when I was a little kid, but now he's at college. So when my parents aren't home, I have to take care of myself.
Oh, that's a good connection. I actually have that very same connection. My brothers were 10 years older than me, and so they basically went to college when I was in fourth grade, and um, yeah, and that was it.
Yeah. We're 12 years apart, so.
Oh, yeah, I hear you.
And then one of my projections was, what if the people on the boat don't even come back for Corona?
Mm-hmm.
And then my second one was, I think when Corona is done building their house, I think it will be a beautiful island. It will be sunny. The blue dolphins will jump in and out of the water, and the leader of the wolves and Corona will be best friends, and Corona won't kill him.
I think you're definitely right. And we kind of already gave it away if you haven't gotten to this part in the book yet. But um, when that ship left, it ended up crashing. And so all of her, people are gone. So the book, they will never come back for her. It's just impossible. So, and this is kind of, I don't know if you remember a couple weeks ago, I talked about, um, there was a real story that this book was based on. Now, when they found this woman on the island, she didn't speak the same language. So we don't know if any of this stuff really happened to her or not. But there was a book, or this book is based on a girl who was found on an island just all alone, living in a house like the one that Karana lived in, and living with some wild dogs, kind of like, Karana did. So kind of crazy to think about. But all right, Christian, it is your turn, my friend. You were also a word wizard. Did you find some interesting words? Your microphone's on, Christian, so we can hear you.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to make you the presenter so we can see your
I
screen.
printed out my thing.
Oh, all right. So we'll just make it my screen then, and you can go ahead.
Okay. My first one was pitch, and I found it on page 61 in paragraph 2. I picked it because it is new and I didn't know what it was. The definition is a black sticky substance that resembles tar.
That's
And
right.
the sentence that I used it in is Karana didn't have any pitch to fix the crack in the boat.
That's right. That's what she was using that sticky tar-like substance for, was to make the canoe and all of the boards stick together. Good.
My second one is sea elephant, and I found it on page 76, paragraph 1. I picked it because it is different and it is kind of a weird name for an animal.
That's right. And well, sea elephant, what do we call a sea elephant? Remember how I was saying the author, sometimes calls the animals and other things by a different name, but what do we call sea elephants?
Mm, uh,
Aren't they walruses or
no, they're not walruses. They're something else.
maybe it is sea elephant? I always thought it was like a
No,
big
I don't
walrus.
remember.
Go ahead, Autumn. Let me unmute you. Sorry, Autumn. There you go.
Um, the other name for sea elephant is bulls. Or
Yes,
bull.
bulls. That's what I was thinking of. A big bull elephant. That's right. Very good, Christian. Any other words?
Yes. My third one is waddling. I found it on page 77 in paragraph 1. I picked it because it is funny that animals would waddle.
That's right. What animals were waddling on page 71?
The sea elephants.
The sea elephants. Okay, cool.
And the
Well,
definition
they're
is
very big elephants, and so they're kind of awkward when they walk and try to get around.
the definition is walk to walk with short steps and a clumsy swaying motion. And the sentence that I used it in is the sea elephant waddled off the beach.
Very good. Okay.
My fourth one is ledge. I found it on page 89 in paragraph 4. I picked it because it is interesting. The ledge that.
Yeah, what was going on page 84 with the ledge?
I don't remember.
Was that the ledge that she was building inside the cave to store like pots and pans and that kind of thing? Or are we talking about the ledge that was the cliff?
The cliff.
Okay, so the cliff can be called a ledge. Very good.
A definition. A narrow horizontal surface protruding from a wall or surface or cliff.
Okay, very good.
And the
Yeah.
sense that I used it on is the goat tripped and fell over the ledge.
Oh, it's a bad day for that goat. Okay.
Okay, my fifth one is bared. I found it on page 90, paragraph 1. I chose it because it is weird that, bared, like naked.
Oh,
Yeah. The definition is to be uncovered. And the sentence I used it in was, the mother wolf bared her teeth.
okay, so she uncovered her teeth. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what was going on in the book when you found that word?
She walked into that cave and she saw the babies, but the mother growled at her.
Bared its teeth. Got
She
it.
didn't want her to get near her.
That's
My
right.
sixth one is paces. I found it on page 90, paragraph 6. I chose it because it is new. Definition. More than one steps forward while walking or running. And the sentence that I used it in was, the arrow was more than 10 paces in front of me.
Yeah, and that's another example of when the author instead of saying 10 steps in front of me said 10 pieces. Yeah, just another example of how she was using, different language to say the same thing. Cool.
And that's it.
All right. Well, you did a great job, Christian. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, everybody take a stretch break and grab your notebook and your pencil. All right. Right now, you're actually muted because it just helps me a little bit when I don't hear any feedback. But I can definitely see your pictures. So along the way, I will, ask you for your input and I'll definitely unmute you. So we'll wait until it looks like Jordan, Kaylee, and Autumn probably ran to go and get a pencil. So we'll get started in just a second. Okay, Kaylee's back. Autumn's back. All right. Okay. Jordan's back. So here we are at the end of our book clubs, and we focused mostly on reading strategies. But I don't know if you remember me saying that we're going to actually start working a little bit more on writing, and we're going to start real basic with just how to write a really good paragraph. We're not going to get into writing essays or anything, really good essays yet. We're just going to start with a basic paragraph because that's going to be your very last assignment for this particular book club is to write a really good paragraph. So here we go. What is a paragraph? A paragraph is a group of sentences that develops an idea. Just notice it's one idea. The first sentence, of a paragraph is always unindented, and the sentences in the paragraph support and give examples. Okay. And you don't have to take notes on this because I will share this with you. So don't worry. I'll share this whole presentation with you as soon as we're done. Okay, so let me show you a bad example, and we could talk about why it's bad. I live in a house in West Provo. I like the view from our house. We have lived there since November. We also have a car that I like very much. We were in an accident a few months ago. We hit a deer that was crossing the street. I felt sorry for the deer, but it cost a lot of money to repair the car. Anybody want to tell me why this is a terrible paragraph? Go ahead, Autumn. Oh, that's weird. Your microphone's on, but I didn't hear anything you said, Autumn. Maybe try it again.
Oh, okay, sorry. So it just like changes the example. I mean, like you're first talking about your house, and then you're talking about how you got in a car accident with a deer.
Exactly. It is not all about the same topic. What else makes it terrible, Kaylee?
The sentences are choppy.
Yeah, the sentences are choppy, and Jordan, what else makes it a bad paragraph?
You need transition sentences.
Absolutely. These sentences don't flow together. They're about different topics. And I could even say this, it's not indented. It's just written. So let's look at a good example. Okay. My husband and I bought our first house last November, and we love it. It is located in West Provo near Utah Lake. Although we cannot see the lake from our house, we do have a beautiful view of the Mount Timpanogos. Our house has 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a living room, and a family room, and a large kitchen and dining area. We also have a backyard and a small garden. We were very happy to own our own home, and I hope that we will live there for several years. What makes this a much better paragraph? Autumn.
It's indented.
Yep.
It's not choppy,
Nope.
and it doesn't change the subject. It just stays on one subject.
That's right. Kaylee, what else makes it great?
It flows nicely.
It does. It flows nicely, and I used good examples, and I used detailed words. Very cool. So sometimes when you get to writing and you're writing really fast, you just kind of forget about what makes a good paragraph. So let's just look at a paragraph structure. It should flow in a logical order. You'll have a topic sentence. You'll have detail sentences, sometimes 3, sometimes 4. And then you'll have a concluding sentence, and that's a good paragraph. I'm going to send this picture, or I should say graphic organizer, to you as well. This is just a way to organize your thoughts. You have a topic sentence, which is the top of the bun. You have the details, which is the meat and the cheese and the lettuce and tomatoes. And then you have the concluding sentence, which is also a bun. So notice that the buns are similar. They're general, and they don't give any new details, but they're very necessary to the structure of a paragraph. So here we go, time to practice. If I can get it to move on the screen. There we go. Okay, in your notebook, I want you to just brainstorm some ideas about the Thanksgiving holiday. So just write down a couple details, maybe what you eat, what you smell, just details. It's something that we can all relate to. It's a really easy, you know, details about the holiday of Thanksgiving. When you have a couple details, give me a thumbs up. Okay. Thank you, Kaylee. Okay. Once you have a couple details, I want you to write one sentence. And that would be a sentence that you're going to have in the body of your paragraph. Just one sentence. Normally, you're going to write 4 detailed sentences, but right now I'm only going to have you write one because of timing. And then I'm going to take different examples from each of you. So I'm only going to need one from each of you. So just write one sentence, detail sentence. Okay. So you can finish writing that, and I'm just going to kind of move on to what a topic sentence is. Remember the top of the bun? A topic sentence tells the reader what the main idea of the paragraph is. It does not contain any details. I'm sorry, it should be kind of specific, but you don't want to give away too much. I'm going to take that part out. It should be specific, but you don't want to give too many details away right away. It can usually be found in the beginning of the paragraph, but that's not always the case. For now, let's just say it's the very first sentence. It makes it a little easier to think about. Okay, so we're going to practice writing a topic sentence. Okay. First thing that we need to do is look at some of the details that we wrote down about Thanksgiving. We brainstormed details that's going to go in the meat and cheese part of our paragraph, okay? A topic sentence is going to catch the reader's attention, and it's going to cover all of those details or summarize all of the details. So let me share an example about Halloween, a good one, and then a bad example. And then together we could write a topic sentence about Thanksgiving. So here we go. Here's a good example. Every year, I look to a chilly fall night with spooky ghosts, frightening goblins, black cats, jack-o'-lanterns, and an overload of sugar. That's Halloween. A bad example. I'm going to tell you about Halloween. All right. Autumn, you have a thought? Sorry, Autumn. There you go. You can talk now.
Thing that's Oh, sorry. The thing that's different about those is that the first one has like more detail supporting the sentence, and then the bad example just says, "There you go."
Yeah, exactly. The bad example does not catch your attention. It doesn't really tell you much at all. It doesn't tell you about what you're going to read about. In this example, in the good example, I would expect to read about frightening ghosts. I would expect to read about black cats, jack-o'-lanterns, and of course, sugar. Okay, so together we're going to write a topic sentence for Thanksgiving. If I could get this screen. There we go. Okay, first thing we're going to do is indent. Any ideas from you guys? Oops, I wanted to show you some of my starters. Sorry, I need to go one slide farther. Okay, so we're going to write a sentence about, or a topic sentence about Thanksgiving. And here are some ideas to start. The best time of year, blah, blah, blah. The holiday that always, blah, blah, blah. Every year in November, our country, etc. The holiday that started when. Okay, so maybe one of those sentence starters can be an idea for us. Anybody want to be brave and throw out an idea for a topic sentence? Any brave souls? Oh, we have Autumn. She's brave. Okay, Autumn, what's your idea? Oh, I have to unmute you. Sorry. Goodness. There you go.
Um, I want to do, well,
You don't have to use any of my sentence starters.
okay.
You can.
Oh my God. Why did I just forget it again?
Did you use any of my sentence starters?
I think I did, but I don't. I think it was the holiday that started when.
The holiday that started when the Pilgrims and Native Americans. I'm helping you out a little bit.
Okay.
The holiday that started when the Pilgrims and Native Americans got together to share a bountiful harvest is known as Thanksgiving. All right, I got to make sure I indent. There we go. Somebody give me one of your detail sentences that you wrote down when you were brainstorming. A detail about Thanksgiving. Okay, Autumn.
It's celebrating like thanks.
Oops, sorry about that. Holiday. Um, let's make that a complete sentence. The holiday celebrates giving thanks for what is it giving thanks for?
Or like. Hmm,
I'm gonna say all of the um, tasty food. What else do we give thanks for on Thanksgiving? Okay, Autumn.
for like example, this is just like an example. Say like someone in your family has like, I don't know, cancer, or they have a sprained ankle or something, then and they're like feeling okay, just like in Soul Surfer when she had to cut off her arm, yeah. Don't want to discuss about that. Um, yeah, like they gave thanks for like her still staying alive. So you're probably giving thanks for like something that good happened to like say yourself or your family or your mom or your dad or whoever.
Right. Well, you're thinking, being thankful for your good health,
Yeah.
basically. So tasty food, good health, a roof over your head, and go ahead, Kaylee.
You could be thankful for just having fun. It's just a fun time.
Okay, and having a good time with family. How about that? Perfect. So these are all detail sentences. Anybody else have a detail they'd like to share about Thanksgiving? Remember, this is the meat and cheese here, like starting with sentence number 2. It's the details. Are we shy today? I saw everybody scribbling some down some ideas, but we must be kind of shy. Um, remember, guys, like participation is definitely the key. I mean, I know how to write a good paragraph. This isn't for me. This is for you. Okay. Well, we're going to move on because we are kind of running short on time anyway. I will be sending out this presentation I made on good topic sentences, on good body paragraphs, a good conclusion sentence. We didn't have time to practice making a conclusion sentence, but you'll still have the information for you. And then here is your assignment for next week. Okay, you ready for this? It's pretty easy. You don't have to do a book club job next week. All you need to do for next Monday is write one paragraph telling the reader, which I guess would be me, about the novel. So making sure that you include important characters, events, and the setting. And then also giving your opinion of the book and whether or not you would recommend it. So make sure that you brainstorm your details. Sometimes I write the body of a paragraph first and then I go back and write the conclusion and topic sentence. That's sometimes easier for me, but these two steps, it's up to you which one you want to do first. However, I would always brainstorm. That's part of planning, and planning is an important part of writing, whether you're writing 10 pages or just one paragraph. Next week, we will actually edit and revise our paragraphs. Go ahead, Autumn, you have a question?
Oh, sorry. I was just wondering, we have to read all the chapters, right?
Yeah, by next week, you're going to be...
Or next week, right? I meant this week.
Yeah. So
Okay.
before next Monday, you'll be done with the book and you'll have one paragraph written.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And I would type it so that we can share your screen. Okay? So next week we will share our paragraphs. We will learn about, we're going to learn some editing, how to peer edit each other's work. And so next week we really have to be willing to participate and give people good feedback. And I'll show you how to do that. We compliment people, we give suggestions, and then we give corrections. But I'll teach you how to do that. If for some reason you can't be here, you have to email me your paragraph. And then I'm pretty proud of the work that we've accomplished in our book clubs. So I invited our principal to come and hang out with us. And she's going to be, you know, watching to see who participates. And she's going to be kind of, you know, wanting to see your work, basically. And so I'm not sure which class I want her to come to. If it's yours, I will give you learning earning bucks. Okay? So participation is the key, though. I mean, I don't want her to come and sit in a class where, you know, everybody's just waiting for me to talk. But nevertheless, are there any questions on your assignment for next week? Go ahead, Jordan. Make sure your microphone's on, Jordan.
You got cut off when because I didn't know what you said, because you said it's for learning earnings. What? It'll go on to...
Oh, yeah. If I decide that I want our principal to see your class, I will give you learning earning bucks. If I choose a different class that I think will participate more, then I won't. I'm going to give you learning earning bucks just for showing up and for doing your jobs anyway, but I'll give you extra money if she comes to your class. Okay? So, all right, I will email all of this stuff out to you so that you have it. And I will make sure that you have this little graphic organizer as well, because I think it's helpful when you're planning a paragraph. And we're done for today. So great job.